Hey there, man. How's it going?
Mr.
Hey, what's
Sensei.
going on, guys?
Yago. Okay. Where you calling from?
And we're checking in from Shelton, Connecticut. Little lonely Connecticut over here. Where you guys checking in from?
We currently in Houston, Texas, but we from Chicago, Illinois.
Ah, there you go, there you go.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it, man.
You can't
H
you
Town,
can't
H
ask us
Town,
where
H
we
Town.
at because we classify.
Yeah.
We got a
Uh,
lot of haters.
I hear you.
as
But I
much
love
as
what you
people
guys are.
love
I love
us,
what you guys are doing. I love what you guys
Thank
are
you.
doing. I
appreciate
really,
it.
Thank you so much.
I really think that you guys are making a difference. That it is very, very important to spread the message and the awareness because I got one hell of a story, but I feel as though I'm not the only man that is going through this. Um, I actually just looking at some of the videos that you guys have posted, it made me feel a lot better because I'm like, wow, I'm not the only man that's going through this. Um, I seen from older to younger, black, white, Asians, Hispanic. It's like all men go through this. So I'm definitely happy to be
Definitely.
here
Thank you for joining
Thanks
us.
for
So we're
joining us.
gonna jump right
So,
into it. We got a busy
for
night
sure,
ahead of us, so
for sure.
we want you to be able to share everything because I think your story is very impactful and it's kind of different. It's
Mm,
rare. It's in its own
yes,
way. So let's jump right into it.
okay.
yes, ma'am.
So where you calling from again?
So I'm calling from Shelton, Connecticut.
Shelter, Connecticut. Okay. So how many kids do you have?
So I have three beautiful daughters. I'm a girl dad. I'm a girl dad. Three
Girl,
beautiful
dad.
girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh
And is they all with the same woman, or you have?
so that is the part that is a little bit unique. So it's with two different women. I have two with one and I have one with one. And my two oldest are about 6 months apart. So before you hear that, I know a ton of people would say, "Oh, you dog, how could you?" But just to kind of give context, um, my first child's mom, unbeknownst to me, there was a relationship going on that I was not aware about. She was actually engaged to a fellow, and I had no idea. Um, I found out about this maybe 6 to 8 months into the relationship, and after finding out about this, um, we had parted ways. And then I'd say about a month after, she had contacted me and said, I'm pregnant. And it was obviously some doubts there because there was another gentleman
Person
in the
involved.
correct. And me being a man, I obviously said, hey, listen, um, I'm willing to step up and take care of my responsibility. But we gotta make sure. And when we went to the OB appointment, that's when a doctor told me that the baby was conceived around the time that she was with this gentleman. So I requested to get a DNA test. Um, and this was prior to my daughter being born. So before the baby
But
was born.
wait, before you continue,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
we were gonna get there, but you just
Yeah.
took the lead, so we kind
Got
of
you. I
let
got you.
you. But it's really, before we get started, we always ask the question with who you have kids with. Was it a situationship, relationship, marriage, whatever, one night stand, whatever. So
Mhm.
you and the mother of this child, just had like a fling. Cause if she was with somebody and lying about it, did you feel like you guys were in a relationship or?
No, yeah. So that was the crazy part is that we actually we worked together, and I would see this woman, day in and day out, and
Mhm.
we actually built a bond. I mean, this was going on for months, and it was very, now looking back, how naive I was. I kind of didn't realize, but most of the time was being spent with me, and I would say maybe like one or two nights out of the mix, um, she would be off And then I would say, "Hey, I called you. What happened?" And, "Oh, my phone died," or, "Oh, sorry, yeah,
So
my
is it
phone."
safe to say it was a relationship then?
Yeah, I was under the impression that we're in a relationship, and I actually was like really feeling her, and so when I found out the news, it was pretty much devastating to me to
Yeah.
hear like there's another gentleman.
Okay.
Because this would have been your first baby, right?
Correct, and that's exactly why I was so, you know,
Right.
so
Okay. So let us ask you this then. So how many kids are you being alienated?
well, it feels as though it's really one, and I'm hoping that things have gotten a lot better over time, but it's been um, a lot of heartache, a lot of court drama, um, and obviously because I wasn't able to get involved with my child until she was about, you know, really see her until she was like 3-ish, 4-ish.
So with
Um,
Why?
yeah.
Because even though you said the kids are 6 months apart, I mean, it is what it is. You had two women pregnant at the same time.
Correct. So what had
So
happened was, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty much what happened was when my child's mom was pregnant at 6 months, I took a DNA test. The DNA lab had informed me that I was not the father of that child. So when
Mm.
I when I was told this, obviously it was devastating, and um I went ahead and I tried my best to move on. We split ways and everything. And then the other gentleman that she was in a relationship with had taken over, and he went ahead and he was, the baby was born, he gave her his last name, and they were happily, doing their thing. And then I went off and I had
You
another
moved on.
yeah, I moved on, and then I had two children with another woman. And then close to some years later, I got a call from the DNA company, and they said, "Hey, we just wanted to let you know that we made a mistake, that it actually is your child." And then
What?
Wow. Wow.
yes,
Wow.
I
Wow.
mean,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
paternity test is like the thing that's scientific, right?
yes.
And even though a lot of people doubt it and say that it has its flaws, ultimately when you find out if a kid is yours biologically, there's a high yield percentage that cannot be questionable, right? So
Exactly.
please try to get us there to just before we get to the court part of it all. Just how did that happen?
Hold on. We got one question to ask first. Who's the deadbeat?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to let y'all. I'm gonna have to let y'all decide on that one, because I know what I want to say, but I'm trying to be elevated. I'm trying to promote positivity,
Okay,
uh,
so we're gonna leave it to the people
to the
that's
people.
viewing then.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to leave it to the people on that one,
Okay.
because even though I was done dirty in a way, I still have faith, and I think that ultimately things are going to get better. I just want to, bring awareness to all the young fellas out there, that so that way they don't make the same mistakes I made. But
Okay. Well, with that being said, well, let's just hop right into it then. So
yeah,
just
for
take us
sure.
from the top. You already started and said what happened.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
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 just take us
apparently,
from there.
yeah, so apparently I had found out about this double life thing that was going on. I had moved on. But some years later, the DNA company contacted me and said, "We made a mistake." So obviously, I'm thinking, well, you guys are supposed to be accurate. This is supposed to be legit. I had found out that there was actually the samples that we had used were contaminated. They weren't good samples, and the lab was not supposed to. They were supposed to reissue another test, but the actual lab tech overrode what the results were, and said, "No, these samples are good. This guy's not the dad." So they sent it off to me, and based on that, I made a decision to start another family. But when I got the news that I actually have another child, I had tried to explain that to my lady, and my lady kind of was like devastated by it, and she said, "Well, I wouldn't have had kids with you if I would have known you had another kid."
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, "Well, I didn't know,
Didn't know.
I didn't know myself." And I kind of thought that it was going to be a little bit easier, um, but it was kind of like she wasn't like,
Did you ever tell her anything about your past, just the facts and how it
yes,
played out? That she
yes,
got pregnant, but it was another man involved, and this and that.
yes, yes,
So
yeah, because what ended up happening was there was actually a little bit of drama, not too much, but obviously because she had gotten pregnant, and I said, I just want you to know it's not any disrespect to you, but I'm gonna need a DNA test because I've gotten burned in the past. And are you kidding me? But she kind of took it the wrong way. But
yeah, that's
um,
fair. I mean, that's
yeah,
fair given the history. That's
yeah,
fair.
but
So let me ask you this. So the DNA place or the paternity test place, they didn't get held reliable for that, like financially, anything? You didn't sue or anything?
so that's why my case is so different and special, because I was awarded 2.5 million. Um,
What?
Whoa.
yes, yes. I was awarded 2.5 million.
Yeah, you
And
deserve it. You definitely
yes,
deserve it. For them to play with your life like that, now they playing with your
And your daughters
the
and
pain and
your
suffering.
relationship. That's
Yes,
a lot.
yes.
that's a
Well, not
lot.
only yeah, not only that, but it just ruined both relationships, because the
Yes.
woman I had the two kids with was pretty much telling me, I don't really rock with the situation that's going on over here. um, I need you to stay focused on your two kids here. And then the other one was telling me, well, you never really loved me. You moved on. You had kids elsewhere. I need you to focus on the time you missed here. And I'm getting pulled in both directions. And when I couldn't commit to one or the other, it was like, well, you're not going to see your kids. And I ended up losing all three.
What?
So, yes, I ended up
So
losing all
what?
three.
What? So was that money? That money wasn't even worth it. What?
Well, before I got awarded what I got awarded, I gotta say, I mean, I drained out bank accounts. I was maxed out on all my credit cards. I was draining my 401k. Um,
And this was just what the fight in court to
just a
try to do
fight,
what exactly?
just
Like
just
see the first baby because she was keeping her from you, or what was that like?
correct,
What?
correct. Because her thought process was, well, you never formed a bond with her. She's going to be scared of you. This had to be done in phases. It wasn't like, hey, you're going to get joint custody right off the rip. Even though I was a parent and I actually had more experience because I had two kids, it was still like, well, you don't know her. So, you
Was
got
she
to hire.
still with the other guy, the one
No,
that
no,
she made the father?
no, because once I had to go ahead and inform her of what was going on, and the guy found out that it wasn't his, then he kind of
He split.
he split.
Man,
But
that's tough for
Yeah, that
everybody.
ruined a lot of people's
yeah, it was just everybody
lives.
involved. Everybody involved was affected, and I even had to amend her birth certificate because my daughter had this other gentleman's last name. And you got to think, for him, even for him, he felt like somebody had died because he's seen my daughter born. He
Yes,
raised
he's
her.
been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then for me, it was like I missed my daughter's first birthday, her first words, her first steps. Um, it was
How
just
old was she
devastating.
when you found out the information that the DNA test was wrong?
I found out when it was, when I really got a chance to like get to like see her and everything. She was 3, a little bit over, close to 4.
How did she receive you? How was that?
So that's the thing. It was very, very painful because you're looking at someone who looks just like you, and you're thinking it's gonna be a great relationship off the
Instant,
bat.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's kind of like she was very closed off. She was very shy. She was very timid. Um, it was very painful because my other two kids, if anything happens, oh, daddy, my tooth. Oh, daddy, I got a cut. I got a boo boo. You know, but with her, she would kind of keep it to herself. And then after a while, I'm like looking at her. Are you? Is everything okay? Is everything? And then she'll kind of say, "Yeah, I'm like too," but it wasn't like instant. And it was like we had to work through that because obviously, her mom didn't like, it wasn't the greatest between me and her
Yeah.
mom. And every time we're going to court, these attorneys are asking for 150 an hour, and I'm having to, shell out all this. Like before I even got awarded anything, I definitely spent like 80K, um, just to kind of like get joint custody, establish a parenting plan, the
Now, was this
allocation of
what
taxes.
this was this just with that one, or do you have to do this with both?
I had to do well. I had to do it with both, but the one that I had the two with, it wasn't as
Bad,
Okay, got
yeah.
you.
bad. It wasn't as bad.
I
It
hate
kind of
that you
was.
guys. So you guys couldn't work that out because uh,
Even to
I
this
just
day, it's
don't.
still, yeah. Even to this day, I mean, it's a shame, really, because ultimately the ones that are affected are the children, and the enemy, is the one. I'm talking. The enemy is the one who wants to cause the divide. He wants everybody divided. You get mad at him. You
Absolutely.
get mad, and I have faith, and I pretty much said, listen, this is what they want. If we unite, we're all victims of this. This had happened. This was devastation to all of us, and unfortunately,
Mhm.
they just couldn't. They couldn't get past it.
But because you still love though, right?
Of course, I mean, I have love. I have love for both of them. And I tell them that to this day. I tell them right to
Both
their
of
face.
whom?
I'm talking about the mothers. I'm talking about the kids. I
Well, that I
really.
mean, we talking about the woman that you were currently with and living your life with, because obviously, to be in a relationship, to have two kids, you're a great active father. It's no really, I don't we don't know if you had relationship problems, but for her to just say I'm done just because you found out that you had a kid, that's something that you could work towards. It's not like you were trying to go back and be with the first child's mom. Like, what was the problem with that for her that she just couldn't continue her life with you? Y'all got two kids together. Like,
I mean, I kind of feel like she had it like made out in her mind, like planned in her mind, like, hey, this was what I thought it was gonna be. And when I sprouted that on her, it was kind of like she was in tears. She was like, how am I gonna be number one now? You're gonna be going over here, and I don't want you to be over here. I want you to stay focused on this, and this is what we build. This is what it was supposed to be. I would have never did this if I didn't know you had it. Like that's kind of like how she was taking it. And now I think that she would, you know, probably would have, did it differently, or maybe things would have went different. But like I said, it was just very sad because even with the litigation, I was the only one who brought a lawsuit up. So when the award came to me, I went to a trial, and when I was awarded the 2.5 million and there was interest on the money, everything came to me, and it was just like it was vindication because I had spent years, 5 or 6 years,
fighting. Yeah.
yeah, of
I mean,
fighting.
So
I
how?
could
Oh, go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
can understand, and the only reason I'm saying something because you did mention a woman's point of view, so I want to get this out because I could get long winded, and I want to say this while we're talking on it.
For
From
sure.
her point of view, as being with you, it's, people get with people who have children all the time, but the fight, the court part of it all, and the stress and everything that comes with parental alienation on one side, everybody can't survive that. And for her to not know that that was even an option, that she didn't sign up for that, but even no one really truly signs up for it, but it just all hit her like a ton of bricks. And so I'm just really trying to put myself in her shoes, knowing that I knew, my partner had kids, and I didn't know that we would have to fight through court. And it can ruin a relationship. Like, people can separate over this stuff, and you're a prime example of that happening because she just couldn't handle everything that came along with it because it came out of nowhere. You guys were living your life, two beautiful kids, whatever, and then you get a phone call or whatever
A
that
phone
now
call,
you
yeah.
have another kid, and it's not just smooth sailing. Like,
Yeah, this
okay,
drama
I can
coming
go
from
get
over
right.
there.
I can go get my daughter. I didn't know. I don't have to be over there. She can be a part of this, even though it would have took her time to probably accept it. But when you got another woman causing strife and issues and problems in your relationship, withholding a child and making it harder, now she's like, I just can't do this. And so
Mm,
that's the part that I'm really trying to highlight, that this stuff is not easy when you're dealing with a partner that
yeah,
has this issue, because it affects, like you said,
yeah,
every single
So
person that's
everybody, yeah.
involved.
so let me ask you this then. So I imagine that was tough on you. Like, how did that make you feel, being that you was just happy family? Now you found out you got a kid, and then now you got to go into this court battle. Like, where was you at mentally?
Traumatized. I mean, I can't explain. You know, I had aggression. I was down. My spirit was just killed. I mean, I literally had gone from having everything and seeing it, the most beautiful thing, to just being in the darkest place. And I do feel like age was a big factor. Immaturity. Everybody's kind of matured now, but I think looking back, there was just a lot of people in her ear. um then things got crazy with her family, and because her family wouldn't accept me, I couldn't go over her house. And hey, my mom don't want you over here. And then my mom said, well, if she don't want you, then we're not rocking with her. And it was just like a lot of that drama.
So how
But
did you deal with it?
so I pretty much I had to channel all of my aggression, being going through this court. I had to channel everything into making sure that I was staying on my purpose. I had to block out all the distractions and just say, you know what, this is the worst thing of my life. I understand that I'm in the thick of it right now, but ultimately my kids need me. All of my girls need me. And I would FaceTime them and they're crying and daddy, I want, and that would just, seeing that, it just made me realize I need to be on my purpose. It hurt. I'm not gonna lie. It made me feel the lowest of the lows. When I tell you, a lot of the things that were happening, they would say things to me like, well, you can't, a lot of my visits were being canceled because my daughter was sick or she had a cold or something. And ultimately, I started noticing a month would go by, 2 months. And I'm like, why is this happening? Why am I missing visits? Oh, she's sick. And then I had to bring it to a judge. And luckily, the judge said, listen, he can comfort her just like you could comfort her.
Exactly.
He could give her medicine just like you could give her medicine. And then that kind of lit a fire in me to say, what makes
Mm-hmm.
this a woman a better parent than a father? We're both equal. There's certain
Mm-hmm.
things that a man could teach, and certain things a mom could teach. But daughters need their dads, sons need their dads. You could comfort, you know, your child just like a mom could. You could teach your child just like a mom can. And then that's what kind of made me realize I don't have money. A lot of these nights I was ramen noodles and cramped up, going to sleep hungry. Um, a lot of these nights I was drawing myself negative on my bank account, and I was in tears, man. I can't tell you how painful it was. Even when they read the verdict, it was kind of like I was just like this. My head was literally down, and the judge is like, "Mr. Santiago, we award you 2.5 million." Everybody, you know, go, "Oh my god, oh my!" And I'm just there like it didn't hit me that this
Exactly.
is this is really coming to me. Um, and it was just that's how I ended up getting through it, channeling all of the negativity into all my aggression, into making sure that I'm gonna always leave my stamp on my kids, and my kids are gonna know my daddy was there for me. My daddy came to the dance recital. My daddy took me to my physical, and I had
Yeah.
joint custody of all three of them.
So let me ask you this. So what was that like? Okay, take us back a little bit. Like, what was some of the things that she was doing to make it difficult for you?
Okay. Um, so a lot of things. I remember. because of the fact that I didn't really know my child, she would just, and my child was 3, so she wasn't too like verbal.
Yeah.
Um, she would say things like, "We have to make sure the visitation is in a supervised area." So I was in a room um, in a library that was tiny, and I'm trying to bond with my daughter, and she would say he gets one, you know, 4 hour visit with her, a week. And I started doing research, and I started thinking, how can I make this bond, be more solid? And so instead of getting one 4 hour visit, I did research, and what makes a bond stick is the frequency. It's not the time, it's the frequency. So I did 4 1 hour visits. So that way she got used to
Mm-hmm.
seeing me
Mhm.
more often. And she made that difficult for me. FaceTimes, I would, every time I wasn't with her, baby, hey, daddy's just checking on you, so she could see my face, you know. Um, every time FaceTimes were difficult. A lot of times, hey, babe, daddy loves you, I'm getting hung up on. Um, calls are being missed.
But why you think she was being difficult? Like,
It
Well, you gotta.
wasn't your fault. Like, this is what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, of course, everybody can be angry at the fact that this lab made some human error and did this. But ultimately, she made a choice. She had a father in place. It
right?
came back that it wasn't your baby.
She made the real mistake.
What were you supposed to do? Like,
What
what
was
were
the
you supposed to do?
What was the question you guys had asked in the beginning? You
Who's
Who's
know?
the
the
deadbeat?
deadbeat?
So that's why I said I'm gonna leave it to the people. But this is why I say, um, you know, I wasn't perfect. I've made mistakes myself, but ultimately, this one was not, in my eyes, I felt like it wasn't on me. Um, and that I had the same kind of thought process you folks had. Was I didn't.
I'm gonna say it for you, for the people. You ain't gotta say it. She,
Any parent that alienate their child is the deadbeat, okay?
yeah, and she's first of all, she created this issue by dating 2 people. So if she was dealing with you, and she would have known who the father was.
I think it was just the bitterness of the fact that maybe it wasn't his. And then he walked out as well. But like, so in this case, she was exposed and she felt like she lost in a
Well, that's
sense because she couldn't have it her way. And so that's where the other, intentions come into play. Now it's about what she wants to do, the control factor, because she has ultimately lost control.
get
That's
back.
what
Yeah,
really what it was
yeah, and
about.
that's kind of like what it was. I felt as though, that was ultimately what it was. It was kind of like she had lost the guy that she was with. This guy had left out. He's like, I'm not gonna stay around for this, and I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't blame
Yeah.
the guy, but at the same time, then she had asked me, "Hey, listen, can we make something? Can we try to resolve something?" And she kind of gave me
Like
an
get
ultimate.
back together?
Yes, she had gave
That's
me an ult.
Oh
that's the $1 million
no.
thing. That's it.
Oh
She gave me
no.
the ultimatum. It was kind of like, listen,
Is she
Oh
either
my
crazy?
God.
it
Now
was
now I see
yeah,
what yeah.
it
Cause
was it
I
was
we missed that for the simple fact it was somebody there. So it's like, okay, y'all done, boom. But she wanted you to be a
So
family.
so what's your other was y'all married? Was the other situation, was it a situationship? Was y'all married, or y'all was just
no, we were together, but we
okay?
weren't quite married, but we were together, and we had
So
we had planned on getting a house and getting married and everything.
so was she still in the picture when she tried to get back with you?
So that's what happened. Is there was a lot of back and forth because
But
she
what were
would.
you doing? Don't leave nothing out because if you was over there trying to appease that woman to see your baby, now it will make sense why your other woman left.
Speak
Yeah,
down, or
yeah,
forever hold your peace.
yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much what was happening. Is I was getting caught in the middle, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was kind of spending time with both. I wasn't
You
you
know
know
it's coming. You wasn't what?
no no
Sleeping with
no
your
no he
first
said
baby mother.
no the one that I had the two kids with, it was really, that's the one that had my heart. And then my
Okay.
other, the one that had the fiance, it was kind of like hard for me to, it was kind of hard for me to make it work. And when she gave me that ultimatum and she said, listen, either you go ahead and you stick with me, or you do this. And that's what was making it hard for me. I said, well, you had this whole situation going on. And then
So
that's when
did you decline, or did you fall for the trap?
I didn't fall for the trap. No. I declined, but once I declined, that's when everything,
Went left.
yes. Because
Got
Of course.
once I said, listen, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too painful. And but by that time things already had kind of fizzled out with my other child's mom. So I kind of missed
So
out
why
on
you
both.
still didn't choose to do it? You had already lost the one that you really love. So, cause and this is no shade to you, like, to be real and keep it a buck like we always do on this platform.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah.
what men do. Men do this all the time with no type of plan or no real thought behind it, because you just want to be
Peace.
right. You want peace.
Yeah.
You want to make please everyone, like someone said in the comments. You want to just have it, no conversation, no drama, and then you find yourself in this position where you are the one that's getting the short end of the stick because you're being controlled just because you want to have the access that you want. Ultimately, you have to choose, and you did that. We commend you. You did go to court and fight and do it right, but at the expense of losing your other relationship. And so that's why it's just kind of like unfortunate, just because you had a life that you moved on and lived. And I don't feel personally that you should have lost that in this
Yeah.
fight, you
No,
know?
I mean, like I said, I mean, I wasn't perfect, and I'm glad that you said something that kind of resonated with me, that I think the people would want to hear as well. When you said, so that way you can have access, and that's kind of like what had happened, because when I had fizzled, things had fizzled out with the woman that I had the two kids with. I have, my other child's mom, and I'm noticing that the only time I could really see my daughter, because this is before court and everything, is if I'm hanging out with her.
Yeah. She
And
wanted
and
a
and
family.
yeah, and I'm like, hey, I want to get to know my daughter, and she's like, yeah, we'll go to the movies, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, we'll go to the movie. Now I'm going to the movies with her, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm gonna take her to the park. Yeah, we'll go to the park. I get off. No, 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 like, I want to like have her like by myself. And then it was kind of like when I would try to get her by myself, it was like, oh, I don't really rock with that. But every time I was doing something with her or going out with her or doing something, then that's when I was caught in the in
Yeah,
between.
and that's the part that I wanted to highlight, because you you're being transparent, and we respect that. We you coming clean, you telling the truth, and it's clear, like
I
it
could have
makes
handled
sense
that. I
how this
could have
played
handled that
out.
better.
And like you said, you also mentioned maturity. Maturity has a lot to do with this stuff. This is why we own this platform on every across every place that we can be to educate people, because now is the time. You don't have to wait. You don't have to play these little games and try to appease,
Make
and
stuff
you don't
worse.
have to do that, because if you would have just sat down with the woman that you had two kids with, if you known, right? This is in hindsight, you didn't know. Hey, listen, she's trying to make me do this, and this. Hey, I'm gonna go to court. Like, we not. Don't
You're
worry.
right. You're
We
right.
don't have to. We don't have to give her what she wants. We don't have to compromise, because she just couldn't handle that, and that's why she felt like it was a tug of war, because it actually was. Like, you
Mm.
actually was just trying to see your baby, but from her perspective, it's like, what the hell is this? This is my man. This is my kid's father. That
Yeah,
he
yeah,
been
yeah.
here. Now you over there going to the movies and
Yeah,
going doing dinner dates just to
that's
see a baby.
that's
Nobody can handle that. You know
that's
what I'm
Yeah,
tough.
saying?
man.
And
It
so
was it was it was a tough
if
situation,
you
and
known
I
better, you would have done better. But you ultimately did. I just hate that you had to lose your relationship as a
yeah,
result
I,
of
and I
not
and
knowing.
I yeah, I would have definitely handled it better, and it's crazy because I've even had to make peace with that with the mothers as
Yeah.
well as with my own children. I mean, I've even, because my children, you don't think that my kids would ask me, "Hey, daddy, why? What happened with this? What happened?" And
Right.
that's the hardest thing, because my daughter's of the age where now she's old enough to kind of know, well, how come you got baby pictures in here of my sisters, but you don't got baby pictures of me from like when we were when you were in the hospital with them? Well, how come my last name is different? Well, how come we got to live in, you know? And a lot of these psychologists and everybody, they tell me that it would bode over better if I were to tell her now, because they kind of compare it to adoption, and they say, in her head, she missed out on that time with me a couple of years, but those formative years were so important, and that if you keep it from her, she'll treat it like somebody that got adopted. She'll say, "Why didn't you tell me? How come you never told me?"
Yes.
She'll build resentment.
How old is
How
she?
can you possibly do that by telling without telling her, well, your mom messed with two guys?
So that's the thing, is I've had to kind of tell her, listen, baby, you know, I don't try to dog the mom, because ultimately,
Yeah.
you want to promote positivity, and I say things like, she wasn't the best version of herself, and people make mistakes. I've made mistakes, and I mentioned the whole time I was caught in between the both of them. I said,
How old
I
is she?
she's 9.
So I mean, see, the thing is, professionals are in place and they're telling you this, but I don't know if they're providing the tools of the way you can do it, because
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's the part that we struggle with. We
yeah,
don't want to lie to our children, but we again don't want to bash the other parent, because then that makes you just as bad as the other parent that was keeping them away, right?
yeah, because
So
there's, I'm sorry to cut you off. I mean that there's an article about it. There's billboards. I shot a commercial. Um, it's pretty much all over the place, and my kids all know. Hey, listen, what happened? And I don't want to lie to my children. So that's why I had to bite the bullet, because these professionals say, if she understands there's things in life she can't change, then she'll develop coping mechanisms, and she'll kind of learn to deal with it. But we kind of haven't, we're still like in that process where I'm trying to get the mom, not the one that I had the 2 kids with, but the on board, so that way she could say, listen, because right now she's kind of just like dodging that conversation, and it's very tough. I could imagine it's probably the most painful thing to have to explain to your
does she
child.
even remember the other guy? Does she still ask
Um,
of him, or
she doesn't ask of him. I don't think she remembers him, but um, obviously there's no those years, those pictures, all those memories are kind of like, they're foggy for her. They're clear for me because I remember the
of
feeling.
course, of
But
course.
she doesn't remember him. But we've just had a lot of issues with the bond, building a bond,
Because of course
because
you're not getting no support on that end, right?
no, that's the thing, is like she's come home to me a lot of times saying, hey, these people are saying that you're this or that you're that, that you're not a good. And then I have to remind her, baby, look at my actions. I got things in place for you. You have a better life than a lot of other children.
Okay.
Did her mother have other children?
No.
Oh, she said it just kept her.
Okay, so take us to the point of you actually fighting and actually getting rewarded your parenting time, awarded your parenting time.
Yeah, so I have joint custody, and I have 50-50 shared residence. That means like I have equal amount of time with all 3 of my kids. So I'm not just like a weekend dad. Shout out to all the dads that are, like I said, it's tough, but I'm doing hair, I'm braiding, I'm doing breakfast.
Okay.
Oh, did you do your homework? You got your homework. Hey, you take your vitamins. Okay, you make sure. Like I'm doing all that. I'm taking them to the bus stop. I'm going to dance recitals. Um, but the fight of actually getting my child, because in the middle of this, the one that I had the two kids with, I had a there was a it was an imp she was an infant, you know, and
Mm.
trying to get visitation with an infant is crazy because
Yeah.
the
They
mom
don't want to
breastfeeds.
separate them from the mom.
Yes, during the tender years, they feel that it's better for the mom. But even me, I would do things that were extra, like extra just to build a bond. I'd go to the daycare, instead of the daycare worker saying, "Hey, she's about to get fed. Oh, let me feed her. Let me bottle feed her." So that way, hey, oh, I'm about to change her diaper. Let me change her diaper. So I'm changing her diaper. Any opportunity, the mom would say, "Hey, listen, we're going. I need to go to Target for a couple of hours. I need to go to Stop and Shop. Oh, drop the baby off to me. I got you." You know, I'm visiting at any opportunity, doing the skin to skin contact. Um, just making sure that,
Mhm.
like I said, I was there, and my kids love me, man. I gotta say, all three of my babies, they are, if I even cough, are you okay, daddy? Are you okay? Is everything all right? you know
Okay.
they they
That's a great bond and a great
Yeah.
connection with your kids.
yeah, but
And we just, I'm glad you're highlighting this because we live it. It resonates. We understand it. But the people who don't, who have not a relationship with their children due to parental alienation, it's just to give them the hope, to let them understand that it can happen one day. As long as you take the action and do the necessary just cause so that your kid is a part of your life, you can connect with them. And sometimes it's not as an infant or a child, even in adulthood, whatever time you have, don't give up and try to build and establish some type of connection with your child,
yeah.
and
So
that's what
so
it's really all about.
so
Yeah, he
so
put it. He
yeah,
put in that work. See, a lot of people think that you either you pay a lawyer or
Yeah.
and you just gotta sit back. But you was
Mm-mm.
doing all the other necessary steps that it took to build that bond or to be in your kid life and or whatever it was. And that's the part that they don't
And it's
understand.
hard work. It's not easy. It's not
no,
instantaneous. It doesn't happen
no,
overnight.
Exactly.
You can lose thousands and thousands of dollars, like we preach all the time. We don't paint this perfect picture like, oh, run to the courtroom and you have your baby tomorrow. No, it's all about you. It's about your determination. It's about what you want. If you want
Exactly.
your kid, you're going to do whatever it takes.
yeah,
You're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to have a rumbling stomach. You're going to have headaches. You're going to have tears. But that's, at the end of the day, you're an adult. You can hold your own. You should be able to handle this, because a kid, what do you think that they're going through when they have to grow up without you? If
yeah,
you really gonna be meaningful in their life. And
yeah.
that's what this is all about. And so
Yeah.
you
You
just,
guys are speaking facts. Speaking facts. Yeah,
you put the stamp on what
yeah.
it takes. And not
Yeah.
not everybody is gonna win millions of dollars,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I wasn't expecting it. I was not
But
expecting
it's
it,
well
and
deserved. Let's be
Yeah.
yeah,
clear. Let's be
They
honest.
play with
This
your
this should
life.
happen all the time when fathers are put in this position. Even the ones that take care of kids and find out 18 years later that it's not their child. This is something that should be a precedent, should be set. But
yeah.
again, that doesn't take away from you and your journey and what you were awarded and everything. That you deserve that.
It was
That's fair.
years. It
That's
was
fair,
years.
you know?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys said that because it was years. It was phases. It wasn't like, hey, a month, 2 months, you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna just hustle and struggle, and then okay, I see the light. No, it was a lot of nights, like you said, where I'm there tearing my hair out because these people are saying, hey, how do we know that she's safe with you? Can we send random people to your house to observe your visitation with your daughter? If you didn't care about it, you would let it happen, right? And I said, sure. You guys want to see it? You want to see me braiding hair and doing a tea party
Right.
with my
Come
kids?
on in.
Come on in.
Exactly.
Come on in. And
So
after
let
doing,
go ahead. After
yeah,
doing that,
after I had to have people observe my visitation, random visits. I'll do a drug test. Look, I work at a reputable place. I don't have a criminal record. You could do my background check. Um, you could,
You were very compliant, and
yeah,
compliance is very, very essential in winning any type of court case, any type of custody battle, court battle. That's just who you have to be. You have to
yeah,
be that person for your kids. And the
yeah,
reality is, so many fathers that reach out to us, so many fathers that are a part of the community that view the content, they just don't do it. They
Yeah,
don't.
it's
They
hard.
don't.
Well, the thing is, it's hard as a man. It's easier to give up because this court system is designed to make a man. It's
Break
designed
them.
to make a man fail. Yeah, to break him,
Yeah.
to break you down. They attack your pockets with the child support.
Absolutely.
Um, Even though I was, I had three kids. One woman had two. Another woman had one. They have I have all three of them at the same time. I'm still paying child support. And I was like, how is this fair? And it wasn't until I brought it up to a court and I said, listen, this is not fair. I'm getting killed out here. After
Mhm.
some years, they finally said, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. That is you have joint custody. You see him half the time. You're going to daycare just as much as she is. You're buying diapers just like she is. And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm telling you. So that's why I say it's gonna break you. It's gonna make you give up. You're gonna be in tears. But there's nothing I would not change anything. I do not regret anything because having my daughter come up to me, grab my face, Daddy, oh, I love you. You're the best daddy. Not even me telling them. This is them out of their pure heart. Oh, you're the best daddy, and they just grab you, they kiss you. That makes it like I'll do it 10 times over.
That's
I
priceless.
It's
Yeah.
It's
priceless.
priceless.
So
And I
I
would say
was
that to the fellas.
my next question to you was if you could do anything over, what would it be? But you just said that you wouldn't. You would. It'll be the exact same for you, right? So this one I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna switch it up. What would you say to the mother of your kids, like right now, the one that had the two, after
Mhm.
everything that transpired and where y'all at now in life? What would you say to her now to apology or whatever it is? Just I just want to know, like,
Yeah.
what would your words be for her right now if she was
So
watching?
so not only to the mother of two kids, but the mother of my first child as well.
Okay.
I just want them to know that I love them very much. They gave me the most precious gift a man could ever ask for. Um, I wish I could have handled some things better. I was very immature myself. I had an ego at times. I may have hurt them just off of the ego part. But I wish we never would have went the court route. I wish we could have worked it out and spoke, together. Not just me and all the mothers, all three, or all three of us, the two mothers and me. I wish we could have all had a conversation, and because there was a lot of things that were done for no reason, and if it was something I probably would have communicated more, a lot more, because now that we are at a different place, it's kind of like, oh, go ahead, like she knows that they love me, and there's
Mm-hmm.
no, it's just like petty arguments, and like I said, the divide, the enemy wants you to divide, so I just would kind of tell them that is like, listen, it's all love.
So let me ask you this, then, because I've heard you say that you want to keep positive, right? You want to stay positive,
I'm over here like,
right? So, but with
Mhm.
this, with the one that's giving you problems,
Yes.
do you ever think it's going to be any positive to come out of that situation?
So I I always have to soften my heart with that because it is that little glimmer of hope that when you never give up, that's what this whole ordeal taught me, is to never give up. So even though she's rejecting my love, even though she's trying to block me on FaceTime from calling my child, putting
still to this
petty
day.
to this day, I'm
Because this
still.
this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you from experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How can I put this?
I don't even know how to say it because
She'll never change.
the reason
I mean,
why
I gotta
he's
tell you,
so
I've heard it.
spiritual,
Yeah,
it's
I've
No,
heard,
no, but
I've heard
no,
that.
I'm spiritual too. But at some point, you gotta protect yourself and you gotta protect your child. Um,
Oh, I do, I
Is it?
do. I want you to know that too. Is I still soften my heart for her, but at the same time, I'm understanding that I'm not gonna get caught in that predicament again. I could kind of do both. Just because she's refusing, the situation doesn't mean that I'm gonna or just let my guard down. I have attorneys on deck in case I need them, and retainers paid off, and things, a backup plan to my backup plan to my backup plan,
Okay, so
just in
let me
case.
ask this. Was the mother of your child, did she receive any awards based on the situation? Did she fight and litigate against the lab for the okay?
Because she
Well,
could
That's why
have though, right? She could have though, right?
she could, and that's the thing, is like I told you, when it happened, I had told both of them, listen, we're all a victim of this, and we should all come together, because if we all would have came together, it would have been in the tens of millions. But they kind of were so bitter, their heart was so cold, that they said no. They actually came to the court to testify against how
against you.
bad they thought I
What?
was. Yeah,
What?
In that case, for what? It
but
still
that
doesn't negate the facts. The
but that's
lab messed up the test. Like, what does that have to do
but
with
but
anything?
that's exactly it, because after they got through spewing whatever they were spewing, it was like, hey, but were you guys looking for homes together? And they said, yeah. It's like, okay. And he bottle fed your kid, and he went to the daycare, and he doesn't have
Listen,
a record, correct? No, he doesn't. And he still is actively involved in your child's life, correct? Correct. It was like,
That's
what it what
weird.
is what are we doing?
what are we
So
doing? But
so
I guess that was just it was a two-part question. So the second thing I wanted to know was, right now, are you currently single?
no, no,
So you are with another woman and you're
yes,
openly expressing love for your two kids' mothers
yes. She
publicly.
understands though. We communicate. She understands it's not a romantic love. It's more like a, I got love. I wouldn't want anything
So
bad
you
to
have to
happen to
word
me.
it that way. Because I
Yeah.
guarantee you, it's hard to hear somebody that you in love with express their love for some people that are trying to ruin their life or put them through. Not to say, because we are grown ups and we do have to be mature, and we promote positivity as well.
It's just
Mhm.
unfortunately,
It's just not parental
It is. It
alienation
is.
is
It's
not
hard.
cute. It's not pretty. It's just not that type of space. So we keep it really real in a sense that people just don't understand, and they say that they even tell us that, why don't you promote positive posts, and why don't you talk about co-parenting well, and because with parental alienation you can't do that.
it's parallel
and
parenting.
and
That's it.
you are a good example of someone who is in the right state of mind and willing to do all the great things for your kid and not be petty and all of that. And we do it too. We just do it in a different way. But that
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
mean, that doesn't mean that we won't call it out and speak it out, because we have to speak for the people. Everybody's situation isn't the same. It would be
Different. Yeah.
great to
Yeah.
have a situation like yours where you are solid in the way that you want to move, because nobody should change you. If your heart is good and you want your kids to feel love, and that's all great. But when
Mhm.
you're fighting the battle that you are fighting, maybe that's what works.
No, I was there too, and I was always positive too, and I'm still positive. You never lose the positivity, but when someone's playing with your kids,
Oh
when
man.
they do see, that's just like the beginning stages of what you see in the FaceTime, and but when they get older and then they start telling your kids that, oh, you try to do this or you do that, and they're trying to tarnish your name, and then the levels keep going up and up. It's like, at what point do you
Does
just
it
cut it
stop?
off?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And that's why I want to know, like, so what is your level of parenting? Do you try to contact her? Do you have like a parenting app or
Oh.
anything like that?
So no, we used to have that parenting app. Forgot what it was called. Forgot what it was called. It's been so
Talking
long.
parents,
Talking parents.
It was something. It
some
was something.
wizard,
Wizard, Family Wizard,
yeah, family
Family
was
Wizard.
Family Wizard. We had that for a little bit, But like I said, it's all communication, and I don't, even though you know she may not respond to me. There's been months where I'm saying the same thing. Hey, listen, let's get a routine together for our daughter's grades. Can we talk? Hey, our daughter's grades is not,
Yeah.
because she's affected mentally. Hey, I would like to get something together. Months go by, and you just want to be like, hey, what's going on? And yet you get frustrated. But like I said, it's that one moment where that battle, I have an understanding that it's not me that she's upset about. It's the whole situation.
So what would you do if you found out later that it was some child abuse or something going on? Would you regret
That's
anything?
one of the things. That's one of the things that I mean, I wouldn't regret, but I pray, and I say all the time, Lord, listen, protect my children, and if there's anything that is beyond me, then please allow me to take over, and I'll lead my children on the righteous path, because like I said, any obstacle is overcome with love, and I know that everybody's situation is different, but even if it's 20 years, 30 years, I know at some point
But do
it's
you
gonna hit her.
understand that it's not your obligation to love her?
No, no,
This
no.
is
I
this is the mother of your child. So her obligation is to be a good parent to your daughter. It has nothing to do with how soft your heart is. Because if you're showing up and you're doing your part for your baby, that's all that matters. Like
This is
whatever
awesome.
it is that this harmony that you want, it's to me, it's almost unrealistic because I'm not saying, and I'm not judging.
Mhm,
I'm just giving you my raw, real, uncut, right?
mhm.
To try to compromise in a way with something instead of keep bumping your head up against a brick wall when you don't have to is the part that's confusing. Like you don't have to show up with this attitude because you have sole control over how you parent your child. Once you go to court, all of that stuff you talk about is out the
Yeah, you
window
can't.
because you got a court order that has solidified your time, this, that, boom, boom, boom. If you say you got the backup plans and the lawyers on deck like you need to have, what is the purpose of you
Yeah.
trying to be loving and
So the
friendly and constantly working with somebody that's not working, giving you anything? That's the
so
part that I
I'm gonna
don't
get,
get.
and I'll give you guys this is the truth. The part that makes me be that way is that I want my children, all three of them, to see that although someone's treating me this way, and it's your mother, I still have respect for them. I understand that right now. It's ultimately the kids. I
But you
want
can
the
do
kids.
that without doing
Well,
that.
well,
You can
I
do
have,
that without doing any of
I
that.
do do it. I do it without doing that. But the thing is that there's moments where we're all gonna have to be, we're all gonna have to come together. Like for instance,
When?
I'm taking my kids to Paris,
Okay.
and the time zone's different. So although they don't rock with me, we're gonna have to talk, and we're gonna have to construct a plan to, hey, listen, I know you're gonna be worried about them, so let's talk. And in that moment, they're gonna think, okay, this guy, I don't really rock with
How's that
him, but
gonna happen with somebody who don't even let you FaceTime
Or
your daughter now?
because what you're not thinking is
I don't know.
what if she just say on the day of y'all about to go, she's not
I don't
going.
want her to go.
that's possible. I mean, that you
After you
guys,
have been so loving and so cooperative and like and I again I want to be clear. We are not
yeah,
like
no, I
trying to
know, I understand. No, I
jump
totally
on you
Yeah.
understand.
about
We
this
just
because
trying to give you another
we just
way.
trying to give you a
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah. I
point of
get you
view
another
because you could be
perspective.
wasting a lot of time and
Perspective.
energy with this stuff.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
no,
really
another.
pouring more into your kids instead of worrying about how you do something with them. Because if it was a co-parent, effective co-parenting relationship, y'all wouldn't have a court order.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're
Because
absolutely right.
as a custodial parent, all these things you asking for schooling, well, really you could go to the school yourself. But like but she's supposed to let you know certain things as a custodial parent, like when it's doctor's appointments and stuff like that. If she can't do those simple things, just know that she's not capable of being the custodial parent. And she's never going to cooperate with you. I don't care how much you
How
say.
nice
Yeah,
you be. I mean, I'm glad.
You might
I'm
very
glad
you
that you're
might
in
very
a
well be
better
right.
space.
Yeah, no, you guys might very well be right, and I will be lying to you if I didn't hear that same thing that you just said from multiple professionals. But the thing is that, like I keep saying,
What about your significant other?
what about that?
What did she?
What is she saying to this? You saying she
It's the same.
understand?
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah, yeah.
understand too. We understand that you love your kids and you a great father and you want to show up for them in a certain way. We fought. We wasn't awarded millions, but the millions coming because we working real hard to get there for
Oh, you
these
gonna get there. You
kids,
gonna get there.
right? So we get that. But what you do? You think if he told me, oh, I'm just gonna show up with love and we're gonna do this, and I know that this person would X us out.
Well, I ain't say love, but I said that. You
No,
know, and we went, and we
he
went,
said love, so I want to say
and
what he said.
and we
You wouldn't
and
be
we
able to
went,
say
and
that.
we went, and we sat in her
I
house,
did
and
that.
we tried to be this loving family.
Me,
Then the
I
next, then
did
the
it.
next week, she cussed out
Wow.
and said she's gonna take her money and take her to court for child support. And
But no, you saying we went. You wasn't really on board about going that far. So I had to get you on board, and let me tell you why he wasn't on board because he know her way more well than I do. But
Mm.
I was you, like, oh, let's just try, and he's like, okay, okay, we're gonna try. But I kind of already know where this is leading, and I'm like, no,
Mm.
she's a woman. She's emotional. She's
Yeah, yeah,
hormonal.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah. The
woman. I
hormones.
understand her. Let's try to do this. And when I tell you it was a waste of time, and what, how many years later is we now? 5 years later. We have custody. We have lost
it's
tens of
six
thousands.
now.
6 years later, custody,
Wow.
tens of thousands of dollars.
And
And we're going to have to fight her in court again.
Mm.
It does not stop.
from
It
from
doesn't. No, I know.
alienating.
Yeah, no.
And a lot of people think parental alienation is just you not being able to see your kids, but a parental alien is
It's
also the
all
psychological
psychological.
damage that she's
Yeah.
doing to
And
cause
To
he
the
stop
sent
the
wedge between
bond.
compassion
Stop
y'all.
the
once I
bond.
told him. So
Yeah.
you
Stop the
talking
bond.
to the people that do this, that's experts, way more than we could ever be. This is their livelihood. This is what they do. They show up and they're telling
I
you.
wouldn't say way more because you if you lived it, we just experienced this then.
And what I mean is, I'm not taking away from us, but I'm just saying that they are certified,
Yeah,
like
I get you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
educated in ways that
Yeah.
we learned. We went to the school of hard knocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
No,
went
yeah.
to
I
Harvard and shit like that. That's what I'm
listen.
saying. So
Listen. I've been. Trust me, man. I come to you like the person I was a couple of years ago. I probably would have sounded the same exact way. And like I said, just everything that I've been through, and being awarded how I'm awarded and how my life has changed, how my children's lives have changed, and how I've seen that. Hey, listen, it's not worth it. That's why even though they may not, treat me with the respect and I'm getting dogged here and there, I understand that when it comes time, I know that I'm gonna have that halo over my head and my
oh, for
children head.
sure. But you don't have to. You don't have to go above and beyond to get dogged. That's
Mm.
what I'm saying. Like we are very spiritual. We are here. Like I know we using our words wisely and not saying certain things,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but this is who we are as well. Like so, what you doing is the way. It's no other way to approach this stuff than the way that you're doing it, and it's refreshing to see actually because we don't get people that even understand that that it's spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare,
yes, for
hands down.
sure. I'm
That's
glad
all
that
it
you
is.
said that.
And
I'm
if
glad
you
that
know
you
how
said
to
that.
fight it, then you do that. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying from the reality and the relative respect of you don't need to be extra
We do.
to go above and beyond to try to do more than you have to, and that's all it sounded like. That's
And
what
I'm
I'm
taking
saying.
that. And I'm
Cause,
taking I'm
cause
taking that in. I'm taking that in.
yeah, cause the evil, it comes and it comes in different forms. And sometimes the good guy don't always finish
Finish last,
last.
exactly, and that's what we
And
saying.
we just
Thank
want you
you,
to protect yourself.
thank you. That's the
Yes.
message. Like
And I appreciate it because listen, you and I'm not gonna say my attorney's name, but my attorney has mentioned that to me. I said, hey, listen, man, when is this gonna stop? When is this gonna stop?
never.
And he's just like, you got about 9 more years. You know, until she's 18, it's just never gonna stop.
It's after that when she get married and when she have grandkids. Your grandkids gonna be coming back saying, "Grandpa, Grandma said you." It's never gonna
Yeah.
stop.
And we didn't. You got to understand that we do this, and we talk to tons of people like across the world. We didn't talk to people in Europe, Africa, everywhere,
Yeah,
right?
it opened my
So
eyes from your channel. It opened my eyes
what?
once I see people.
So what I'm saying to you is, we have heard stories of people that's almost 60, 70 years old
And
and
it's
still
still
talking
happening.
about your daddy did me wrong to they kids that's grandparents.
I
So
And I'm
mean, if
hoping, I'm praying.
ultimately if it bring you peace, then
yeah,
by
That's what.
all
Oh,
means
yeah, I'm glad that you just said that because
continue.
that's exactly what it brings me. It brings me peace to know that even though they're doing me a certain way, that I never did them a certain way, and it brings me peace. It drives me crazy sometimes because I'm having to do things that I shouldn't be and getting hung up on, and you know, there's been things done to me. I even remember one time there was a recital because I had to fight to get both my kids at the same school. So they both moms came to the recital at the same because in the same grade. One lined up on the left side of the auditorium, one lined up on the right side, and making me choose which one am I gonna go see.
Oh my
And
God.
the first one I see, I'm just like, oh, let me go left over here. I go and I'm dancing with her, and I'm looking at my other, and then my daughter tells me something like, "Hey, mommy said, look, he was dancing with her because he don't
Oh my God.
you know, things like that I'm hearing, and I'm like, you know what? Even though it happened that way, baby, I love you, and I still, hey, can we all take a picture? I still am
We
being that
all
way,
who, even with their moms,
even with their moms.
and
I would
they'll do
still,
it.
no,
So
no,
they'll
they don't
take
do
a.
it. No, no, they
So
give me the
why are
kids
you facilitating that?
because, like I said, when I go,
Why?
when I get to that stage
yeah,
when the
but
Heavenly Father asks me, I'm gonna be there and say, listen, man. I
but
I went ahead and
I
I
did
followed your path.
everything the
but you
right
I don't
but
let
way.
it.
but that could be a little deceiving for the kids
It
too as
is like
well.
you're
Like
creating a false sense of reality for them.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I mean,
like the one
I
breath
let them.
they could look at it like, oh yes, dad is a good guy, and they're gonna look at that like that anyway
Anyway,
because you're not telling them nothing bad about his mom. You're not trying to make them pick and choose, so they already gonna look at you as great without doing any of the extra stuff. But it can also show like, man, anybody can just do anything to me, and I'm supposed to take it.
and
Yeah.
and think about this. Think about it from this angle. Their mothers are upset a lot that you don't see, right? Just think about it like this. Now y'all at a dance recital. Now dad wants to take a picture. When you leave and go where you go and you feeling good because you wanted to do what's right. I want these memories with my child, with that mom. The whole ride home and back when they get home, she upset because you tried to make her get in a picture with you, and she know and everybody know that this is not that. And why are you trying to do that? So you may think your kids see the love, but they're kids. And when they're with you, they hear what you're saying. When they're with her, they hear what she's saying. And it's confusing. And so you're gonna be the problem. And that's why you gotta be careful how you
Yeah. You're right. You're
move.
right. You're right.
And you causing unnecessary strife. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Trying to come on, that's doing too much.
You showing up is good enough. You saying, oh, mommy said this about you, daddy. Oh man, don't worry about it. That's good enough.
You're right.
But
You're
to
right.
No,
say,
you
come on,
don't.
let's
You
all
don't.
go on a family trip or let's take a picture or
You
whatever.
give you giving more ammunition because if they know that their mother's upset and they don't have like, okay, how can I put this? And I'm trying to frame it in the best
No,
way,
no.
not
You.
just for
It's
you,
this.
not
This
just
is.
for you, for the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have a kid, because we go through this, we live this every day, and we have full custody. They with us, and it's still happening over phone calls, over a FaceTime. This can still happen.
10-minute phone calls.
Okay, so if the mom just says, "Oh, I just wanted to come see my kid dance," and not like separating herself from you because it's already understood that mom is not happy with dad. I just want to see my kids. And here he is talking about, let's take a picture. And he steady bothering me. He steady doing this to me. Why don't he just leave me alone? I don't want to take a picture with him. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You're giving grounds for her to say more things about you that's not true. That's what I'm saying.
And
I
it,
see.
and it
Your
create a
kids,
false narrative
right?
for the
It's creating
kid.
more false
Yeah, I see.
narratives.
I
They
see. I
already
see.
have a false narrative that dad is a bad guy. But when you do stuff that's just unnecessary, that just gives more ammunition on the other end
It's
to
all
say,
it,
see how he was
it's all
telling me
about how
to
it's perceived.
take a
I
picture with
see. I
her
see.
and do that. I don't want to do that. Why would he do something like that? Then they gonna get on the phone with their family. Then the family's gonna talk about it. Like, if you never said let's take a picture, this could never be something to talk about.
It
And
would have
whole
been. It would
time
have been.
your kid is the one that have to go through that. You're not gonna have
Hearing it
you're not gonna have to
exactly.
go
I
through it.
could
So
probably
it's gonna
save
it's
her.
a
Save her.
manipulation tactic.
Yeah, I could probably save her from a lot of stress.
Yeah.
If yeah, I see what you're saying, and it's
If
good.
you
This is
just
what.
do your part, all you have to do is parallel parent. You don't have to, and I get it. Like, we get it, because you still trying to make up for that time lost. You still have these moments of guilt, because it's like, damn, I just wish I could go back in time and do that. And you're not even the person who caused this.
Yeah,
Somebody deliberately told you your kid wasn't yours, kept your kid from you, and you still sitting over here like, dang, I missed her first, like as if you chose this. You are not a deadbeat. And this is why it's who's the deadbeat. Because it's
yeah.
not you. No man that do what you do, that went to court, even God showed you you want a deadbeat and gave you millions. And you
Yeah.
still trying to validate yourself. You don't have to do that.
Chat,
That
who's the
makes me feel.
deadbeat? I want to know who's in
That's
the
what I'm
chat.
trying to tell you. It's not about you having a good heart, because it's refreshing to see. You are maybe the most sane father we had on the platform.
I
And I'm
swear.
telling you this with all due respect. Like, kudos to you for showing up for your
Yes.
kids. Kudos for
Great father.
everything you done been through. We
Thank you, guys.
respect you.
You went
It's
above and
awesome.
beyond.
But we telling you, you don't have to do that. You can
You
you
know
can you can have boundaries and
I
set them and still be a good
that makes
dad.
me feel
I
that
just
makes
made
me
a
feel
video
amazing.
about this earlier, man. Man, these people is not who you think they is. If they can use their kid as a pawn, what do you think they care about your life?
Exactly. Have you ever heard of Betty Broderick?
No,
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna send you that movie
that's a good one.
inbox,
That's a
that's a good one.
good
because let me
one.
That's
tell
a
you
good
this
one. I gotta
real
catch it.
quick, real
That's a
quick.
good one.
This father, it reminds me of you. He reminds me of you.
Great guy.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch it. What is it, Daddy?
Uh,
Daddy
it's,
what?
No, it's her name. Her name is Betty Broderick.
Oh,
But
Betty. I thought you said Daddy Broderick. Betty.
Betty Broderick, she's still in prison today because she unalived her husband and his new wife, her ex-husband and his new wife. It was so much. Like, you
Oh
just
my
simple.
gotta
God,
see
I
it.
gotta
You
watch it.
gotta
Betty
see it.
Broderick. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it. But this is refreshing.
This
But this is the ultimate tale of trying to compromise, trying to give the benefit of the doubt, trying to work it out constantly and try. No, at some point you have to know, okay, this is never gonna change, and now I have to protect myself, my life, my everything, and my kids to a certain limit where I can't deal with this person on
because
no level.
because the thing that you are missing out of all of this is they just want something. Don't matter what it is. Don't matter if y'all arguing or whatever. And when it's nothing, they're gonna cause chaos even more.
That's right.
So they always want something, no matter what it is from you. You say it's not about you, but it really
It's
is.
about you. It's
Wow,
about
man.
you.
This is a different perspective. Like just it's so crazy that you are telling me this because this morning I had a conversation just like this and it was hard for me because I don't want to accept that after all this time, I'm still going through, it's been 9 years, about to be 10 years.
Yes.
I'm thinking
Yes.
I'm still getting blocked on FaceTime. Like my daughter's telling me, Daddy, I try to call you, said call block. And I'm thinking to myself, no, there's no way that this could still be going. No, I look, you were under block contacts. I know your number. She told me my number. I'm like, what? And then to hear you guys say, listen, you could have boundaries. It's not that you're going against your faith, but it's just,
Exactly.
it's not retaliation, it's protection.
It's protection. It's the real true definition of protection. And you would have to see it to know. Um, well, that's why I said the movie, because you do have to see it from different perspectives, even other people's lives, to kind of say, hey, is this could be me? Could I be this person? And you are the nice guy. You are the good guy. You are the good father that you are. Nobody can take that from you. But just because you don't try to create this space of peace all the time across the board, love, 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 that doesn't make you any less than. You've done your part. You've gotten to a point, and you mentioned the trip to Paris, and so this is the thing, because we still battle with this as well, and I'm gonna do this before we wrap it up. We battle with trying to get out of that as well, because it is a
It's
hard pill
hard.
to
It's
swallow,
hard.
that
It's
you
hard.
still
Uh,
in this after you've done everything, all the turmoil you and the kids have suffered. Everybody has suffered behind this, and you mean to tell me it's still like 5 years ago, 6 years ago? But it is. And
Mm.
so now you live your life and you do what you do for your kids, but you separate yourself from that because it's never gonna change. When you accept something, you have that epiphany, you still can move on with life and still be that person that you truly are at heart. But you don't have to try to
Worry.
appease and work it
yeah,
out.
you
You know
just
what I'm saying?
you parent how you want parent at your house,
Yeah.
and she gonna parent how she parent at her
Gonna
house,
parent.
cause she can ultimately say the totally opposite of everything that you teach your kid in her house, and there's nothing you can do
And
about it.
that parents trip, I want that for you, y'all. Like, I want you to be able to take your babies
Yeah,
out the
that's
country and do
dope.
all that. But the
Thanks,
reality
bro.
is, if you don't set that up where the courts is allowing you that time, you
Oh,
have
they
to
got, yeah,
understand the
it's,
reality that it just may never happen.
yeah,
Because
no, it's
we
worked
do
out.
this
It's
as
worked out.
well. Let's try to see if we can. It's no compromising with crazy, brother.
Yeah, no, you're
You got any
I,
recommendations for him going to Paris? She done been twice, 3 times. How many times she
Betty
been?
Broderick,
I
Betty
done been to
Broderick.
She
Europe.
done took
I've
the
been to
kids
Europe.
and
I've had my fair share
Oh my God, you
of
guys have been through,
friends.
yeah, been through it too. I appreciate it. Like
Absolutely,
this has been
absolutely.
real. This is like refreshing, man. Because like I told you, a lot of fellas out there may be struggling with the same thing I'm struggling with, is letting it go. But from what I'm hearing, it's like sometimes what you're doing is enough, and so if
More
yeah,
than
it's
enough.
more than
you
enough.
shouldn't be worried. Just give it to God and then stay protected, man. Stay
Yeah,
protected.
Yes,
Stay prayed
yes,
up.
yes.
yes. You've done your part. The man gave you millions. What more do you want? At this point,
Man,
you better live it up and stop trying to appease these women, because it's never gonna happen. Like, they have to get to that point.
I
Not
hear you.
you. You can't force it and get them there. They have to want that for themselves and their children.
good.
You can't. I don't care. You can show up as a knight in shining armor all you want to, and they gonna kick you off that damn horse. Okay.
Nothing's never good enough for them.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. I really
We
do.
Thank you
appreciate
so
you,
much.
man,
Thank you so much. Keep us posted.
about
Yeah, for real.
everything.
We're
Yeah.
gonna stay in touch, and
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
send
catch
you the link
that
to
Betty
the
Broderick.
movie. I'm gonna
Yes,
send
for
you the
sure,
link.
for
Yeah, you
sure.
gotta watch it, man. I'm telling you, it'll open your eyes up to a
A lot
lot.
of, yeah.
Yes, I appreciate the opportunity, and I hope you guys. I'm gonna stay tuned into the channel, but you guys keep doing your thing and promoting what you promote, and I wish you guys the best. We'll stay in touch.
All right,
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Have a good night.
You too.